quick, in one of Scott Peck's books, and I'm super paraphrasing here, he talks about the 4 stages of spirituality. Stage 1 is actually antisocial behavior. Addiction, criminal behavior, antisocial behavior, all of that. Stage 2 is black or white, all or none, either or, good or bad. Stage 3 is more the shades of gray, and stage 4 is mysticism. So I'll explain. So I grew up in a very stage 2 mentality, and most people in society do, where it was good or bad, it was right or wrong, it was all or none. There was a winner and there was a loser. And so when you have that default mode as your programming, you go into communicating that way. Someone's right and someone's wrong. So depending on which side of the aisle you're on, you're either making yourself wrong or you're making someone else wrong. It's like there's in that sense, there's kind of no winning, because it's this dynamic. And so this was my unconscious programming, which means I wasn't aware of it. And I would just go through life. And if someone was I felt was more powerful or more intimidating, then I would just make them right and I would be wrong. And they would be the star, I would be invisible, whatever the dynamics were, or vice versa. Then when I became a company owner and had team members, it was, then I was right and they were wrong, if that's how I saw it. And through the work of queenhood, I've been able to move more into the shades of gray. Well, maybe there doesn't have to be a right and a wrong. Maybe 2 people can both be right, even though they're opposing views. Maybe it's not even about right or wrong at all. Maybe that's perfectly acceptable for that person, but it's not acceptable for me, or vice versa. So there's such a greater level of acceptance as you move your consciousness higher into stage 3, the stage of the shades of gray. And so also, a queen is very in tune with her spiritual connection, whatever kind of spiritual connection that is. And when you're spiritually connected, you get that a miracle is possible. You get that it doesn't have to just be option A or option B, but so oftentimes option C is the best option for everyone. And so really allowing yourself to come from a place of, I don't believe that the universe picks favorites, and the universe has all of our backs. So if the solution always exists, then let's seek that and find that. And when you speak the truth in love, which is another piece about communicating like a queen, you don't have to be concerned that you're going to win and someone else is going to lose, or vice versa. You usually, when it's been difficult, let me think of a time. When it's been difficult, let's say that I was going to let someone go that they weren't the right fit for our company. Do you think that I've done that with anyone who thought my company was the most amazing place to work and the best thing in the world? No, it's mutual, right? It's just, or when someone would come to me and quit, and do you think I was super bummed out? Probably on one level, just for practicality, because I didn't want to have to go through the work of hiring and training someone new. But there's never been someone who I was so thrilled with, who was it's time for me to go. So when we understand the solution always exists, we start to open up to other possibilities other than what we can see. So real quick example, 2 weeks before, the last week of February 2020, I'm getting ready to go on a national and international book tour, biggest time of my career. And my personal assistant comes to me and says she's giving me a 2-week notice. Now, in the past, I would not have communicated like a queen. I would have been how dare you? How could you do this? This is the worst time. You knew this was coming up, blah, blah, blah. And my mental muscles are so ingrained that the solution always exists. Now, I had zero idea what was coming around the corner. I was okay, apparently the universe has someone better matched for me, and there's a better place for her to go for her destiny. It's I just am now just in that place where that's the default mode. And then 2 weeks later, there's a global pandemic that she came to my house every day. She wouldn't have had a job anyways. I would have been paying a salary that didn't even have a need anymore. So, the solution always exists.